Correct technique is to get up to military power with the brakes locked, then engage the afterburner, then release the brakes, and you start your roll. Doesn't take long at all to get into the air. Takeoff's an afterburner on a couple of these test flights. Most of the flights we use what's called military power, but it does put you back in your seat. You feel the pressure in afterburner. You quickly get to rotation speed, which is 100 up, and then you're pretty much in the air at 140, 150. Takeoff performance is awesome. The problem with the afterburner is fuel consumption. It's 176 gallons a minute in afterburner. So your aircraft is an 8-minute airplane if you're in afterburner the whole time. You might be interested in the loops. There were two that we did that were kind of interesting for me. One was an afterburner loop, and as you know, the rule is that under 10,000 feet, you're not supposed to be above 250 knots. So you can do a 250 foot knot, 250 foot, 10,000 foot and under a loop at 250 knots in a MiG-29 in afterburner. But it's vibrating all the way around as you do it. But the one that I really liked, because it was quiet, relatively quiet and calm, was the no power loop. And that's where you get to 500 knots at 10,000 feet. And you take the engines to idle, and then you leave the throttles alone. And then you just pull the loop consistently all the way over the top at about 140, and then back down to almost 500 knots as you complete the circle. The circle takes about 5,000 feet of altitude. So you're going from 10 to 15 and then back down. But it's a really calm, easy maneuver as long as you have your speed at the start. Was there any part of this you had a question about?
What's the max amount of G's that you guys pulled?
We got pretty close to 5. We weren't wearing G suits, but close to 5, which is similar to an aerobatic routine in a Mustang. And we got that on what we call a wind-up turn, which is a high degree of bank as you accelerate. The loops and whatnot were lower G maneuvers, because if you do them right, they're really not a high G maneuver.
Barrel roll?
Barrel roll. Easy maneuver. Really no different than any other fighter. Except, with the center line of thrust of the two big engines, you don't have gyroscopics as you might worry about in a propeller airplane. But it's basically nose up and 20-degree off center. And we were doing barrel rolls with Mountain Baker as our point of reference. And I think that comes through in some of the footage. What do you think the landing speed would be in something like this?
170.
Yeah, pretty close. Coming in, that's about what you're shooting for. And what I noticed too is that Doug has a technique, just when you're straight in, you've already made the turn from base to final, he would goose the throttles a little bit. And what he's trying to do there is get the nose forward. Big airplane. Those engines are way behind you. And the nozzles, if you just do a standard transition from approach to slower than approach, minus 10, minus 20, to try to get to your touchdown speed, those nozzles can't hit the runway. So what he's doing with the little goose at the end is getting the nose further forward and down, and make sure you're in the proper attitude for the touchdown.